Hola guys and girls, and welcome team to our week 7 match of the PPL versus the Nicew Jynx, coached by Mefesto. And yeah, so good so far in these last 2 weeks. We got the wins we needed, but now for our 4-game winning streak we need to make it to playoffs. We probably face the biggest challenge yet, which is of course Mefesto, which was a top contender throughout the season so far with this Nicew Jynx, having a 4-2 record plus 6 differential, having a very threatening team with 2 special demons he enjoys a lot, and yeah, very entertaining content as well, so definitely check that out. And yeah, the match in my opinion just got harder versus him, seeing how he played versus Joey last week. Because my team, I prepared for like the standard fare, but what happened last week was pretty insane, and insane things might happen again, and that terrifies me because I don't want insane things to happen. I want to have a match where I can do my thing and win the game, and not where like insane shit happens. I have no idea what I have to do, and I lose, or maybe someone still win. Like I said, it could go either way. If they have a similar game as that was Joey, anything can happen. I could get bobbed, I could bob him. Or I just get a standard match, and we can go from there, and I get bobbed regularly or win regularly there. This last week's match just terrifies me now for this match, what's going to happen here, because I have no idea what's going to do. The Dawn is a crazy man. He's a madman. Anything can happen here, especially with the team right here you already see on screen. Let's go over that real quick. As you can see at the helm, his 2 special demons with Iron Bundle and the Nicew. Then, my opinion, most threatening one was my team, which is the low kicks with Terra, Bug, Dark, and Fire. Would be great if that thing. I mean, it will come, but maybe it's not a Terramon. Maybe. Then we got some of the new additions to the team with Pikachu, Magneton being a Terramon as well, with Steel, Fairy, Grass, the Alucha, the Masquerain for Sticky Web, the Dragalge for mass damage, which is anything which is not a Steel type, and of course the Starspark, which can Terra as well, which in theory, I would say doesn't come versus me, because the other 2 Terra Captains are way better. But like I already mentioned, the Dawn is a madman. Anything can happen. This Sourcebar could come with some kind of set I'm not looking for, and boom, bobs me. So anything is terrifying at the moment. And then, of course, the defensive backbone right there with Slowbro, Dawnfan, and the Sylveon. And yeah, I think I can actually handle his special demons quite well. The low kicks is, in theory, the biggest problem, and then anything else which does something insane. That's something which can be pretty threatening as well. But yeah, that's the team. Now let's go over our strategy, what we trained for this last week, and how we plan on winning this game. So, the 6 we are bringing versus the Nicew Jynx this week are these. In the defensive lineup, we got Florges, we got the Mudsdale. Offensive midfield, we got the Roaring Moon and the Grafire, and then at the helm, our most offensive mons are going to be the Pawmod and the Rillaboom. From this lineup, you see I actually bring in both my Terra Captains. I do bring the Florges and the Grafari. Since I do bring Rillaboom, most people probably think that I'm bringing Unburden and Grafari again. I'm actually doing not that thing. So yeah, but I hope I can play some mind games with Mefesto as well, like what I'm going to Terra when he sees this lineup. Is he going to be scared of Unburden, Grafari for the late game, stuff like that. But yeah, let's go with our actual strategy and go from there. First, let's go over defensive lineup and how we plan to handle the especially and physically offensive threatening mons of our opponent's sides. First of all, we got Magic the Roaring Moon with a more bulky variant with a lot of HP investment, still enough speed to outspeed Nicew, and then 1d44 and Adamant Nature. That actually gives us more attack than if he would be Jolly. That just made sense with the speed tiering it has, because Roaring Moon just has such an insane base attack stat that, yeah, we are super strong with that, with the Crunch, Facade, U-Turn, Roost, Heavy Duty Boots as well, since as you can see, I don't bring Hazard Control this match. So if he wants to bring Hazard with us, I need my checks to always be healthy enough to take the hits, and that's why I do Heavy Duty Boots on Roaring Moon here. The Facade is there, because Nicew does basically not a whole lot versus me. I resist the Overheat, I resist the Fire moves, I resist the Dark moves, I'm immune to Psychic. There's not a whole lot Nicew can do with me. The one thing it can do to me, which would be annoying for Roaring Moon, is it can burn me with Will-O-Wisp or something like that. So that's why I have the Facade, so after I'm burned, I'm just not a useless mon anymore. Then Roost, of course, for recovery, U-Turn for momentum. If I'm not burned, I can't really touch the Sylveon too much. If I'm burned, Facade does good damage, especially if he's not physically defensive. But other than that, most of the time I'm just going to U-Turn versus Nicew, because it does good damage to Nicew itself, because Nicew doesn't have good defenses, and I can get momentum on the most likely Sylveon to come in and stuff like that. Crunch, of course, is main stab. I don't want to forgo that. Sadly couldn't fit Protect. I would love to have Protect on that set as well for the potential first impression on low kicks. But yeah, I do want Roost. I want U-Turn, because otherwise if I had Protect there, I have Crunch, Facade, Protect, Roost. What do I do with Sylveon if I'm not burnt? Facade I already mentioned for the potential burn on the Nicew, because I just think that's something very cheeky, which could work out very nicely in my favor. And then Crunch, because I always got to have one stab, hits the Soulbro for super effective damage, hits the... what else super effective damage? I think just in general hits the team well, because Dark is usually the better stab than Dragon. But yeah, that's the Magic Glory Moon for us. Then next up for the next especially defensive demon, especially offensive demon we have our especially defensive demon, which is Marine the Floor, just especially defensive, Terra type Water, Calm Nature, Moonblast, Draining Kills, Calm Mind, Synthesis, a little speed sprinkled in, so he can speed grip me with some of his slower mons. And yeah, depending on how the match goes, and if the low kicks is like down, low, or not as offensive I expect it to be, this thing can just win. I can start Calm Minding up, and then all his special threats are not a problem versus me anymore. Only the physical threats potentially, which, like I mentioned, the low kicks is the biggest one. And then I have Terra Water, just for some key scenarios which might happen. Like, for example, I'm not that boosted yet. He could kill me with GU Fire move. I Terra Water up. Boom, not weak to that anymore. He wants to bob me with like a super strong Hydro Pump from the Ice Penguin, the Iron Bundle. Boom, I Water. I'm weak to Freeze right now, but I'm resist the Hydro Pump, which you can go for. Basically, with the Terra Water, I can always buy one turn. For example, with Magneton as well. Once I hit it with super effective Steam move, I Terra Watered up. After that, of course, weaker to Electric move. But this one turn I can get versus some of these mons might be the difference between winning and losing. If I get like one additional Calm Mind up, one Synthesis up, one damage, one Moonblast up for damage, something like that, or Draining Kiss for damage and recovery. That's why I have Terra Water right here. I'm not set which of my two mons I want to Terra, because obviously Grafire I can Terra as well with the Terra typing I have on that. Will depend a lot on the matchup and yeah, what mons he brings and what the state of the game is, what I'm actually going to Terra, so it's nice to have some flexibility there. Then next up for the physical offensive threats, like I said, mainly low kicks and Halucha, for example, we have Paul the Mudsdale. I didn't want to bring Corviknight. He does have the Magneton, he can trap me. I could run Chat Shell, but Corviknight would be a good switch into Donphan as well, would be a main switch into Donphan on looking at the team. And yeah, he can just easily knock that off. He has some other knockoff users there, and I think Mudsdale just does the job better. High horsepower because we do have grassy terrain. I don't want to have Earthquake. Heavy Slam to just hit the Sylveon for super effect damage, and everything else for good neutral damage because his steel resists are not that great. Not there, especially not if they potentially can get a hit up with a ground type move. And then counter is there because low kicks I can't OHKO with Mudsdale. Barring with counter, for example. Or if he U-turns with the low kicks versus me, I can get a big counter on something else up. I think that can catch Mefesto off guard as well. And then Stavrock, of course, because we want hazards. Everyone loves hazards, gives me hazards. And the speed is there because, as you can see, we have some decent speed investment on the Mudsdale. That is there, so we outspeed a no speed, the dragon poison thing, Dragarge. We can outspeed the Dragarge, potentially hit it with a big ground move and just OHKO that thing, depending on the set, and don't have to take anything to switch in there. So yeah, let's have enough speed on that there. But yeah, that's basically the Mudsdale there for the physical threats. Then next up, for our midfield lineup, we got Grafire with Terra Poison leftovers. I can actually put Black Sludge on that. Before I had leftovers because I was Terra flying for a long time. And if I would Terra it up, then I'm not a poison type anymore. I would get Black Sludge damage. That's why I decided to go with leftovers. But actually, I think I like leftovers still even more because that might actually be what my opponent's thinking. If I have leftovers, not Black Sludge, he might thinking I'm not Terra Poison. So I can play some mind games in that regard. So actually, I think I leave it at that. So just noticing in Teambuilder, the mistake, I'm going to leave it at that because it doesn't make a difference, to be honest. Also, barring he tricks me or something like that. But yeah, we are a little bit bulky, so we could switch into Sylveon. Enough speed, the same speed as Roaring Moon. We outspeed the GU because the two mons Iron Bundle and Halucha, which are faster than the GU, outspeed us either way. Gangshot as our main stab move with Terra Poison, potentially insanely strong, but some stuff can always OHKO Sylveon. And once Sylveon is gone, our Roaring Moon just goes in. Knockoff, of course, for just the utility of getting rid of items. U-turn for momentum. I would have loved to have Prankster Party Shot versus him because it's just insane versus everything, just getting the drops and then switch out. But the problem, of course, is that wouldn't work versus Dark types, and he has a pretty scary Dark type in GU, so I don't want to be stuck with his GU. That's why I had to go with U-turn, all that, get some chip damage here and there, not necessarily fast momentum, or maybe slow momentum even for some of the mons. And then Prankster Toxic, just the Toxic mons, wear them down. As long as I'm a poison type, which I always will be, but because of Terra, I can't miss that. And I can wear the team down, because like I already mentioned, the other 3 mons I had are rather bulky, so it might get to a Slugfest, a very long match, and then Toxic is just very useful, especially for the Donphan, which is the most likely switch into me. I can Toxic that on switch and then U-turn out of there and slowly wear down. So my other 2 mons, the Pawmot and the Rillaboom, can do some work. Mainly the Pawmot because Rillaboom deals with Donphan either way already. But yeah, let's go with our offensive mons right here. First up, we got the Pawmot, Life of Pawmot with Iron Fist, Double Shock, Close Combat, Ice Punch, and Mark Punch. Of course, the Iron Fist boosting the Ice Punch and Mark Punch. And yeah, enough speed once again for his base 100. And this thing is a demon for his team. Everything which is faster than me barring the Lucha, but the bundle doesn't like taking the Mark Punch, does massive damage to that. Mark Punch does massive damage to the Chiyu. Close Combat Double Shock just breaks everything down. Sadly, I can't 2-hit Sylveon because I can't click Double Shock twice, sadly, which I learned actually rather recently. I always thought I could click it, but I lose a Electric type and then I can click it again, but like I'm weaker now because it's not stab anymore. But yeah, you can't click it twice in a row, which is kind of tough, but still, it's just going to do insane damage to the Sylveon, which, like I mentioned, if that's thing gone, Roaring Moon just goes in with spamming Crunch and U-turn and potentially burn Facade. And Ice Punch there for the other stuff, which resists my moves, be it the Donphan, be it the Dragalge, which resists both my stab moves, and yeah, just a good damage to that. Life Orb just to boost the damage even further. Power Mod is there to wall break, and then to late game sweep and revenge kill a lot. We have our Choice Scarf Rillaboom here with Aggressive Surge. Adamant Nature, enough speed for max speed Megaton, so in case he's Choice Scarf Megaton, we are still faster than that. Woodhammer there just to spam it. We just switch in, we click Woodhammer, we click Woodhammer once more, we click Woodhammer again, and then we click Woodhammer some more. And then the other moves, in case you want momentum or hit something which is in front of us, with either with knockoff utility, getting rid of items. Stormy Tantrum, of course, is a great move, did stuff like the Magneton as one example. And then Beautiful Momentum. But most of the time, I'm going to switch the thing in and click Woodhammer, because his Woodhammer resists are not that bulky. And yeah, take a lot from Woodhammer, and most of them are 2-hit KO'd, barring the bulky variant. But yeah, that's the plan basically. Wear him down, break the stuff with the Power Mod, and either win a late game with the Rillaboom, or potentially even Mark Punch spam from my Power Mod, because yeah, I can just Double Shock the Slowbro, for example, which can hit that. But yeah, that's my team versus Mefesto and his niece Jynx. I hope it can work out. Like I mentioned, due to how the match with Joey went, anything can happen in this match, and my whole strategy might fall apart, or it might work out even better than planned. Like I said, anything can happen now, and I hope you're excited for today, for tomorrow's upload, not today's, of course. But yeah, that's all from me. Let's get out on the field. Let's show what we can do. We trained this whole week for something, at least, even it might not be the thing Mefesto brings. But yeah, we are prepared for the Dawn. Let's face him. Let's destroy him. Let's get out on the field. Roll out Dawn, fans.